Anti-mask or anti-masking laws refer to legislative or penal initiatives that seek to stop individuals from concealing their faces, who do so often for political or cultural purposes. North America. United States. In many U.S. states, there are anti-mask laws. Anti-mask laws date back to the mid-20th century when states and municipalities passed them as to inhibit the Ku Klux Klan, whose members typically wore hoods of white linen to conceal their identities. In current times, masked political protesters, such as those in the Occupy movement, and in particular, Anonymous, a collective group of online hackers with strong political beliefs, who consistently sport Guy Fawkes masks, have been targeted with anti-masking laws. Canada. After several high-profile protests, the Canadian Parliament introduced Bill C-309, which bans the wearing of masks during a riot or other unlawful assembly. The bill became law on June 19, 2013. Those convicted of it face up to 10 years in prison. Canada's Criminal Code, Section 351(2), also covers disguise with intent, whereby everyone who, with intent to commit an indictable offence, has his face masked or coloured or is otherwise disguised is guilty of an indictable offence and liable to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 10 years. With some exceptions, an indictable offence in Canada is one that is subject to a fine of greater than $5,000 or imprisonment of more than 6 months. Europe. Austria. In Austria since 2002, masking ban on demonstrations under a Section 9 of the Assembly Law. Violation of the ban need not be prosecuted if the mask does not threaten public order and security. Violation of the ban entails, according to a Section 19AB of the law, imprisonment up to 6 months, repeated offences 1 year or a fine. Denmark. Wearing masks during assemblies in a public place is illegal in Denmark. The Danish Penal Code, a Section 134b, which was inserted with effect from June 3, 2000, makes the violation punishable by a fine or up to 6 months imprisonment. Part 2 of a Section 134b further criminalizes the possession of effects which must be viewed as intended to be used for masking in an assembly. The A Section 134b, Part 3, exempts from penalty masking which is done to protect one's face against the weather. France. The French ban on face covering is an act of parliament passed by the Senate of France on September 14, 2010, resulting in the ban on the wearing of face covering headgear, including masks, helmets, balaclava, niqabs and other veils covering the face in public places, except under specified circumstances. Germany. Since 1985, according to a Section 17 Abs 2 Versammlungsgesetz, you may not disguise your identity in public meetings such as demonstrations so the police are able to identify you. This violation can be fined with imprisonment up to 1 year. Norway. According to a Section 11, Part 5 of the Police Statute from 1995, it's prohibited to be masked during an event taking place in public. Exempted from the prohibition of participants in theatre, masquerade or similar. In accordance with a Section 30 of the same law. Violation is punishable by a fine or up to 3 months imprisonment. Russia. According to the law of 54th, it is prohibited to wear masks and any other means of hiding identity during public events. The organizer of an event must require all the people taking part not to use any means of hiding identity. Spain. According to the November 2013 Citizens Unregistered Trademark Security Law, demonstration protesters who cover their faces may be fined up to a 30,000. Sweden. According to the law on the prohibition of masking, in some cases, it is prohibited for participants in the demonstration to fully or partially cover the face in a way that complicates identification. This prohibition applies only if there are disturbances of public order at demonstrations, or if there is an immediate danger of such disturbances. The ban does not apply to the covering of the face for religious reasons. It also does not apply to the extent participants authorized to fully or partially cover the face. Switzerland. In the cantons of Basel-Stadt, Zurich, Bern, Lucerne, Thurgau, Solothurn and St. Gallen, there are laws banning use of masks. Ukraine several days after Berkut riot, police clashed with Euromaidan protesters. Verkhovna Rada enacted Law 721-7 banning wearing masks, helmets or camouflage clothing by people taking part in a gathering, assembly, demonstration, protest, rally or other mass event. Fines for violating are monetary up to about $400 or administrative arrest up to 15 days. The law was repealed in January 2014. United Kingdom During the 2011 United Kingdom anti-austerity protests, one of the temporary policies discussed in the Cobra meeting was to ban the covering of the face during the riots. Generally only enforced in areas in a riot stage, none were arrested solely for wearing masks, only ordered to take them off. However, many arrested who committed other crimes, such as looting and attacking police officers, were charged with failing to adhere to the mask ban as well as all the other infringements when placed before the court. See also, NICB enforcement, encouragement and bans. References